Flash Isaac, and today I shall be taking you through air and water. The knowledge of air and water is so important because human beings cannot do without water. Even plants cannot do without water. This is the reason a philosopher, Thales of Miletus, even testified that the universe came from water because he was wondering, everything is water. Human beings cannot do without water. Plants cannot do without water. And air, on the other hand, is very, very important because we need air to survive. The earth crust, the universe, is made up to 71% water. And the human body itself is up to 60% water, which means water is more in your body than any other thing at all. So the knowledge or the study of water is a very, very important one. Now look at it. When you talk about the elements of matter, the earth, the water, air, and fire are the elements of matter. Look at it. Matter. What is matter? Matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. This means almost everything around are matter in different forms. And the opposite of matter in practice is energy, which some persons can choose to refer to as antimatter. Now look at it. The matter, the elements of water, earth, water, air, and fire. Looking at the fire, which is the fourth element of matter, fire needs air to survive. Without air, there can't be fire. Earth itself, which is another element of matter, is made up of water, like I said, up to 71%. Therefore, the need to study water and air. Now, talking water is a compound. Meanwhile, air is a mixture. A compound contains two or more elements combined chemically. Meanwhile, mixture contains substance or elements or compound and elements combined physically. So why this requires physical combination? This requires chemical combination. So mixture can be separated easily. Meanwhile, compound cannot be separated by an ordinary means. Now, what is water? Water is a compound that is made up of hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio 2:1. So for every water, you have 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. And at room temperature or at standard temperature and pressure, water is liquid. Water is liquid at standard temperature and pressure, which means at 25 degrees and 1 atm, which is pressure, water is liquid. This implies that water can as well exist in other states. Yes, it can. This is the phase diagram of water. What does it mean? It means that water can exist in liquid form, in solid form, and in vapor, which you can choose to refer to as gaseous state. Now, there is a state of water which is called supercritical fluid. Under very extreme or uninhabitable condition, water exists as supercritical fluid, and that is around 647 Kelvin. In that case, water begins to exist as supercritical fluid, which people refer to as the fourth state of matter. Now, solid state of matter is a state of matter in which the molecules, the component making up the water, they are intact, they are together. So the force between the molecules is so strong in the sense that it begins to give the solid a shape. For example, this is a solid. It has definite shape. It has volume. That is as a result of the attraction between the molecules. Meanwhile, in this liquid state, the force of attraction between molecules is not as strong as that in solid. And the vapor state or a gaseous state has more loose force of attraction. Now, water in liquid state, it does not have a definite shape. So if I pour water into a can like this, you see that the water will bend to take the shape of the can. It doesn't have definite shape. So water has volume. And gaseous, it exhibits random motion. You see gases moving around, and gases can as well be compressed. Water exhibits certain behavior, certain anomalous behavior. For example, water can exist as both acid and base. Look at it. According to Arrhenius, an acid is a substance which, when dissolved in water, produces hydrogen ion, which is proton, while a base is any substance which, when dissolved in water, produces hydrogen ion. And according to Bronsted and Lowry, acids are proton donor, while bases are proton acceptor. Now, water on its end accepts proton and also donates proton. So it behaves as both acid and as base. If you are given something like this, H2O, which is the formula for water. So anywhere you see H2O, that is water. And water, the shape of water is bent. Water has bent shape, and the angle, the bond angle between water molecule is 105 degrees. So it is made up of oxygen and hydrogen. So other names for water are hydrogen hydroxide, HOH, because you see hydrogen, oxygen, OH, hydrogen hydroxide. Just like if you are given this, you call it sodium hydroxide. So why not this hydrogen hydroxide? Another name for water is hydrogen monoxide. Why? If I give you this CO, you say sodium, you say carbon monoxide. So if I give you H2 and O, why don't we say hydrogen monoxide or hydrogen oxide? That is another name. Then dihydrogen monoxide is another name, meaning 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. So dihydrogen monoxide or dihydrogen oxide. And you can as well call water hydric acid. So these are common names for water. That being said, so look at this water in liquid state react with another water, H2O, in liquid state to give you hydrozonium ion or hydronium ion plus, then OH minus. What has happened? This one of the water molecule, one of the water donates proton. So let's say this is the one. So this donates proton, which is hydrogen plus to this guy. This now has 3, so H3 plus, aqueous, meaning dissolved in water. This is aqueous as well. So this donates 1 proton and this accepts 1 proton. So this one donating proton is behaving as an acid. This one accepting proton is behaving as a base. So you see, so water can behave as both acid and base. Now something else. Water has a behavior called triple point of water. Remember that the top 3 states which water exists are solid, liquid, and gaseous states. Now, triple point is a point where water exists as solid, liquid, and vapor or gases the same time, which is this point. That is what we refer to as triple point of water, and it exists at 0.01 degrees Celsius or 273.1 Kelvin, and the pressure is around 4.5 millimeter mercury. That is the triple point of water. Water exists as both solid, liquid, and gas the same time. So you see another surprising thing about water. That is not even a point. Look at one that will shock you now. Normally, when you heat substances, they expand. As you heat, they expand. And as they expand, what happens? The density reduces. Density is density of a substance is mass per unit volume. So as you heat normally, substances expand. And as you cool down, they contrast. And as they contrast, the density will increase because they are now compact. But for water, when you cool down water, it contrasts. It behaves normally as you begin to cool down. But immediately it gets to 4 degrees Celsius. Hey, it won't contrast again. It will begin to expand, meaning it's behaving abnormally. And the density begins to decrease instead of increasing, since cooling contrasts and increases density. So from there to 0 degrees Celsius, water behaves abnormally. Density decreases instead of increasing. And instead of contrasting, it expands. So it also happens in the reverse, which is anomalous behavior of water. Let's look at other things about water. The molecular mass of water is 18 grams per mole. Why and how? Water is H2O. And what is the mass of hydrogen? 1. Since we have 2 hydrogen, 1 times 2 plus oxygen. The atomic number of oxygen is 8. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. So it is the 8th element. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So water is the 8th element. It means it needs 2 to complete here. Since this configuration needs to be 8, which is 2n squared. The maximum number of electrons that can fill a shell. Why this is K shell, this is L shell. So L shell is the second shell. If you put 2 here, 2 raised to the power of 2 is 2 times 2, 4, times 2, 8. So these 2 remaining is what hydrogen comes to bond. 1 hydrogen comes here, because hydrogen has 1. This is hydrogen. So 1, this is another hydrogen. Now look at it. This is hydrogen, proton, 1 electron for a neutral hydrogen. As this hydrogen loses a electron, it becomes positive. So hydrogen ion is simply a proton. This is why ions are elements or compound which possesses charge. So this brings its own here, and this brings, it doesn't even give, the share. So they share the electron. So this comes to gum here. So this guy comes to gum here with its own electron. So the mass of oxygen is 16. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 plus 16 is equals 18. So that is the mass. And remember, mass of a compound or mass is simply proton plus neutron. That is atomic mass. While atomic number is the number of proton. And for a neutral atom, the number of proton is equals the number of electron. Therefore, electron can be the atomic number. The melting point of water is 0.00 degrees Celsius. And the boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. The density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Since density is mass over volume. The vapor pressure of water is 23.75 torr. And the body is made up of to 60% of water. Now, how about air? Air is a mixture. Remember, mixture contains 2 or more elements or substances combined physically, which implies that they can be separated. In fact, I have a video on separation techniques to separate different types of mixture. And for water, I have separate videos for water purification, hardness in water, hard and soft water, how to solve hardness in water, and as well, complete video on acid, bases, and salt. So a lot of videos are already on ground. This one is specifically to tell you more about air and water. So, mixture. Since it is a mixture and it contains substances or elements combined physically, so what are the constituents of air? What are these things that air is made up of? 1 is nitrogen. Air is made up of 78% nitrogen, which is actually 78 point something something. So approximately 78. Air is made up of 21% oxygen, which is 20.9 something. So approximately 21%. Then argon, 0.9%. Carbon dioxide, 0.03%. And other gases completes the percentage. So if you add this, and this, and subtract it from 100, you get the percentage of other gases in air. Now let's look at something. Oxygen in air. Oxygen in air is very, very important because it is oxygen that makes combustion possible. Without oxygen or without air, you cannot burn. So if you can take away air, try to light fire or try to burn something, it won't burn. So it is the oxygen in air that is responsible for combustion and for burning. Now take note of something. Oxygen is present in air and it is present in water. It is the most abundant element on earth. Meanwhile, even water itself is one of the most abundant compounds on Earth. So oxygen supports burning, and like I said earlier, for burning to happen, there must be oxygen, you must have gas to light up the fire, and there must be heat. So there must be heat. How about nitrogen? Nitrogen is very important in air. It has important features which are discussed under nitrogen and its compound, then oxygen and its compound, carbon and its compound. So there are other major videos for all that. But one thing you should note here is that while oxygen supports burning, nitrogen does not support burning. So if you have a candle and you light it up, blow air, it will off. So the constituent of air, which is the nitrogen in that air, is what is against the burning. So that is why air can support burning. When there is blaze, you can still blow to stop burning. So it is against burning. And carbon dioxide is very important. Carbon dioxide from plants and animals. So carbon dioxide has a lot of importance. Even carbon itself is so important. The compound of carbon alone is more than the compound of every other element combined. This is why we have a separate video, separate class, a separate topic for chemistry, which is organic chemistry. The study of carbon and its compound, except the oxide, sulfides, triazocarbonate, and metallic carbides. Because carbon can catenate, combine with itself and other elements to form long chains, branch chains, and ring chain. And it can undergo hybridization, which means carbon tetravalent. So I have another video on organic chemistry, which you may also look at. So check Flash Now channel, you have more than enough videos to make you happy. So argon is there. Argon is used in gas-filled balloon. The other constituents are smoke, dust particles, water vapor, methane, which is the most abundant constituent of natural gas when you are dealing with hydrocarbons, is also in air. Krypton, helium, neon, and hydrogen. These are in air. Wow! And look at water is a universal solvent. It can dissolve almost everything. That is why water is termed universal solvent. So air and water, what you should know. That is it.